My son, Steven, was convicted in 2002 for killing his sister. He was barely 14 years old. He had a psychotic break. There were 2 forensic specialists, psychologists, who gave him that diagnosis, one for the prosecution, one for the defense. You all know Steven's crime, but I want to tell you about Steven a little bit. While Steven was incarcerated, he was the 2nd youngest person in the history of the Juvenile Rehabilitation Administration to get his diploma. He had the highest GPA of any graduating child. He was barely 16 when this happened. He assisted dozens of other kids while in Maple Lane to get their GEDs and their diplomas. He worked on crew, which is one of the best jobs that you can get. You have to have the best attitude and do everything that's required of you. When Steven was released at age 21 with no parole, no probation, no follow-up, he had been promised by Tom Verge, the prosecuting attorney at the time, that his case would be sealed. So much for trust. Since that time, Steven has obtained many licenses. He has a CDL. He has many certifications, which he accomplished without getting so much as a speeding ticket in the last 8 years. He has a CDL. He's an electrician. But what he wanted to do was to give back. He wanted to work with me. He's been in the hearing industry since I started almost 25 years ago. He came to work with me over 2 years ago as an audiology assistant in my practice, being supervised on a daily basis. He, of course, has done everything that he needed to become licensed in the state of Washington, passed his test, was top of his class. Now we find the prosecution's office is trying to hold him back again by grandstanding once again to make him a scapegoat after so many years, and I am appalled by this behavior. Do you have any shame? Steven has more dignity and integrity than anyone in that courtroom. He has stood up for himself under the worst conditions imaginable. He got along, he learned, and he grew. He has always strived to be better, to learn more, and to give back to his community. He has tremendous empathy, which is something I also find the prosecutor sadly lacking. The grandstanding on the prosecutor's part is at the cost of crushing my family and myself once again. There are no other victims in this case. There was my daughter that I lost. There was my son that I lost for over 7 years. We are the victims here. From personal experience, I can say to you, you never get over loss. You work through it with the help of loving family and friends. While he was incarcerated, I visited him over 375 times. First in Snoqualmie, then in Centralia, finally in Woodinville. I taught Steven how to balance a checkbook. I taught him how to handle a bank account. I taught him how to put gas in a car. I taught him how to drive, and I taught him what a smartphone was. And now you seek to crucify him for exercising the right given to him by the judicial system. He's not asking for anything special. He's asking for what was promised him in the year that he was released when he was 21. I wonder where the justice in this is. There is so much more injustice in it. For the past 2+ years, Steven's been my employee working directly under my supervision. I have a small business. It serves a very conservative clientele. And this community that I have been a part of for almost a quarter century has been extremely welcoming to my son. Not only is the prosecution's attempt to further humiliate and discredit my son, you are attacking my business and my ability to make a living. That is not acceptable, and I will not tolerate it. This borders on libel and slander. I find it interesting that those who succeed and excel don't receive accolades for overcoming adversity. Those who fail more miserably time and time again seem to get the recognition. Maybe, just maybe, if success were celebrated more, then there would be cause for success. Just a thought from a mother of a successful son. This reminds me of words that I can only paraphrase. Contempt prior to investigation will certainly keep you in everlasting ignorance. Thank you.